Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. So I was, looking around on YouTube at different videos, and in the sidebar, YouTube suggested a video to me. I looked at the picture thumbnail and I thought, wow, that looks really good. And then I realized it was one of our videos from 2012. Completely different video style. But I remember having these and I thought, those are great. I'm going to make them again. It's sort of a caramel, peanut, and pretzel kind of concoction in a bar. Really good. So we'll start out with the base layer. In this bowl, I have some crushed up pretzels, plain old white sugar, and melted butter. I'll just mix that together. And I have an 8x8 baking pan with a parchment sling. And so this concoction just goes in the bottom. We'll spread it out evenly. And then into the oven for 10-15 minutes. The oven's preheated to 350 degrees. So just enough time to kind of firm it up a little bit. Now we make the caramel, or the caramel. And it's pretty standard. So I've got a pot here with a candy thermometer. I'm going to turn this on to high. And into the bottom of the pot, butter, sugar, brown sugar, and corn syrup. And I'm going to use the measuring cup that I had the melted butter in. And I'll spare you my rant about why I don't think corn syrup is inherently dangerous. And instead, I'll tell you why I hesitated when I said the word caramel. I say caramel. I say caramel. I come from a part of Canada where caramel is what we call caramel, or people of a certain age who lived in a certain geographic area. Not everybody says it. And I get called out all the time for saying caramel, and people say that's a city in California. It might be, but there is historical precedent for it. In a lot of my older cookbooks from Canada, if they're making something that has caramel in it, it's spelled caramel. It's ingrained in that older generation of Canadians. Just a tiny little bit of whipping cream. Into the pot, I will switch to a wooden spoon and we'll stir this constantly until the thermometer reads 245 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm going to say that this is ready, so I'm going to pull it out. I've got two things of peanuts on the counter here. And so the first set of peanuts I'm going to pour on top of our base. And they will sink in to the base slightly. And I don't want to leave the caramel too long. If you haven't noticed, I'm fairly, laid back and loosey-goosey in the kitchen. Boiling sugar is one of those areas where I would, say you should extend this some caution. A healthy respect for boiling sugar. It's one of those things that if you get it on you, it's going to burn like you wouldn't believe because it won't come off. It's going to stick to you. So we want to get this up to 245, and 245 is just a shade, if not on, depending on who you listen to, if not on softball, just a shade beyond softball stage. And we're at 220 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so we're getting there. And as it's boiling, be aware that it could spit little bits out at you and burn your arms. So, don't be afraid, but give it some caution. 245, off the heat, and we're going to put in a little bit of vanilla. And when you put the vanilla in, it's going to hiss and bubble up, so be very careful. And this is probably, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is probably one of those spots where using artificial vanilla would give you a better vanilla flavor. I think vanilla is just a little bit too delicate, especially putting it in something so hot as this. So I'll just scrape off, and now pour the caramel over top. And then some peanuts on top of that. And that's that. So I'm just going to stick this over on the counter here to cool down to room temperature, and then I'll stick it in the fridge to firm up completely, slice it into squares, and we'll give it a taste. Hey,
Oh my
Jules.
goodness, that's like the thickest peanut brittle ever. Hi, friends. Hey, Glenn.
So-
I was just so overwhelmed by the size of the. Is it peanut brittle?
No, but it's peanuts and
Oh, it's soft.
pretzels and caramel or caramel.
It's soft.
Caramel. I would say caramel. Anyway, it's we made this on the channel in 2012, and as I was mixing it together, I sort of realized in my brain why we never made it again.
Oh, it tastes really good. It's got all the great flavors of peanut brittle. Oops, I dropped a few peanuts there, without breaking your teeth.
The sweet, the salty,
Oh,
the kind of the soft, chewy caramel, the pretzels, the peanuts. This is on a scale of evil. Right up there, on par with that Mars bar Rice Krispie thing we made a few weeks ago. And that's probably why we never made it again, because this is dangerous.
yeah. That's in all the right ways.
You're taking that to work tomorrow.
Gotta get rid of it.
Gotta leave the house.
That's really good. Okay. I'm not going to have another piece. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to put my hands right here so I don't eat more of it.
Okay. Amazing. I think you could use any nut.
Yes.
Pretzels aren't your thing. Crush up potato chips for the base layer.
Oh, yeah. Anything crunchy probably would work.
Anything crunchy and salty.
Try it out. What do I know? What's the
And-
worst thing that happens? You get a big thing of caramel
Yeah.
and yeah.
Okay. So if you have problems with with self-regulation, possibly not the recipe for you, but it is a tasty treat. Thanks.
You would make a lot of friends with it.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon. Yeah, you make it for the bake sale, and you keep a square at home.
Get rid of the rest of it. Yeah, that's that is evil.